Did you know that only a few factors account for 99% of fatalities after the age of 75? Many people believe that dying young is just a natural part of life. However, the majority of deaths are caused by preventable dangers that are frequently disregarded until it is too late. The issue is that most people's alternatives are restricted and their health has already deteriorated by the time they understand what's occurring. However, if you are aware of these risks, you can take precautions and prolong your life in ways you never would have imagined. The five main causes of death for people over 75, which account for almost all deaths in this age range, will be revealed in this video. One thing is certain: being aware of these is the first step in preventing them, even though some may seem apparent and others may surprise you. These are not only figures. Stay tuned until the end because these five causes are not unavoidable. They represent real lives, real families, and real choices that could mean the difference between enjoying a long, meaningful life or battling with health issues. In actuality, many people have extended their lives by years or even decades, lowered their risks considerably, and maintained their independence for longer by making minor but important changes. How strong, active, and independent you are in the years to come may rely on the choices you make today. Let's get going now. First, cardiac illness. Even though heart disease is still the biggest cause of mortality for adults over 75, many people are unaware of their own power over it. Like any muscle, the heart can either remain healthy with proper care or weaken with years of neglect. The issue is that warning indicators aren't often obvious until the harm has been done. Slowing down, feeling exhausted, or having trouble breathing are common misconceptions about aging. However, they can also indicate that your heart isn't as strong as it once was, which is something you should be aware of because high blood pressure is one of the main causes of heart disease. It causes tremendous strain on your arteries over time, making your heart work harder than it has to. You don't feel it, which is the tricky thing. Until a heart attack or stroke forces the issue, there is no discomfort, no evident signs, and no warning to act. Poor eating is another key factor that contributes to the abrupt hospitalization of so many people over 75 who were feeling well only days earlier. Most individuals are unaware of the gradual damage caused by decades of processed meals, too much salt, and unhealthy fats, which clog arteries and lower circulation. Avoiding unhealthy eating isn't the only thing at stake. It's also important to eat the appropriate ones. Your heart needs fuel to function properly, and damage occurs far more quickly than you may realize if your diet is deficient in heart-healthy nutrients. There is also a deficiency of mobility. The purpose of the heart is not to remain still all day. Your heart doesn't get the workout it needs to keep strong when you stop moving. Your muscles deteriorate and your circulation slows down. Maintaining an active lifestyle, whether it be by walking, stretching, or even easy chair exercises, lowers your risk of heart disease significantly and maintains your heart pumping effectively. You don't have to run marathons. Assuming that heart disease is a result of fate is the worst mistake people make. They think it's a natural part of aging, or they hear about family members who suffered heart attacks. Little regular decisions, however, are the reality. Sum up your diet, your movement, and the amount of stress you handle. It all affects whether your heart continues to be robust or starts to fail. If you only remember one thing from this: let's do this. You may not realize how much control you have over the health of your heart. The decisions you make today will decide how resilient your heart remains in the years to come, and when it is most appropriate to begin safeguarding it. The second most deadly and often ignored risk after the age of 75 is falls and injuries, which is not an illness. A fall has occurred, one slip, one moment of lightheadedness, one slick floor, and all of a sudden everything is different. Even a relatively minor bruise, a head injury, or a shattered hip can swiftly turn into a catastrophic, life-threatening situation. Furthermore, the majority of people are unaware of their vulnerability until it is too late. This is startling. One of the leading causes of injury-related mortality among the elderly is falls. Millions of ER visits are attributed to them annually, and for many, a single fall causes a deterioration from which they never completely recover. Months in bed, a loss of independence, and an elevated risk of infections and complications are all possible outcomes of a hip fracture. Even still, most individuals don't take fall prevention seriously until they or a loved one has experienced one personally. Despite how common it is, the issue is that as we become older, we gradually lose our sense of balance, muscle strength, and reaction speed. However, because this occurs so gradually, we are not usually aware of it. You may sense, okay, so you're going about your everyday business, wandering around your house, then one day you reach for something, lose your balance, and gravity takes over. What used to be a small slip can now cause severe injuries since the body just doesn't heal as quickly as it used to. This is something that exacerbates the situation. More falls are caused by fear of falling. After one near miss, a lot of seniors begin to completely avoid moving. They avoid stairs and cease taking walks. They restrict their activities because they are afraid. However, the more inactive you are, the weaker your muscles get, and the more prone you are to fall. It's a terrible cycle that may swiftly take away your freedom. The good news is that falls are not unavoidable. Indeed, there are easy yet effective ways to significantly lower your risk. Strengthening your legs and core, enhancing your balance, and making minor home improvements like better lighting, non-slip rugs, and sturdy railings can make the difference between continuing to be active and independent and suffering a life-altering injury. Another factor to consider is the side effects of medications. Many prescription drugs cause drowsiness, dizziness, or blood pressure changes that increase the risk of falls. If you've ever stood up too quickly and felt dizzy, that's your body telling you that something needs to be altered. You can save your life by discussing your medications with your doctor, making sure they're not interfering with your health, and being aware of how they influence your balance. A single fall can change everything after 75, so taking the proper precautions now could mean years of continued mobility, independence, and a much higher quality of life. Falling isn't just about tripping over something. It's about remaining strong, steady, and aware of the small things that can make a big difference. Please let me know in the second remark below if you're still watching this video and finding these ideas helpful. To ensure you don't miss any videos, I advise you to subscribe and turn on the bell if you haven't already. We can keep producing high-quality content to educate and uplift you thanks to your support. All right, let's proceed. Respiratory disorders come in third. We take breathing for granted until it becomes challenging as we age, our lungs become less effective, and even small respiratory problems can soon become significant. After 75 years, respiratory disorders are among the main causes of mortality, not because they can't be prevented, but rather because they're frequently disregarded until it's too late. What begins as a simple cough or shortness of breath can develop into chronic problems, infections, and even hospitalization. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, which encompasses emphysema and chronic bronchitis, is one of the most dangerous conditions. Breathing becomes increasingly difficult as the airways get irritated over time. Frequent coughing, wheezing, or feeling out of breath are symptoms that many seniors ignore because they believe they are a natural part of aging. However, these symptoms are actually indicators that your lungs need assistance, and pneumonia is a serious possibility. Pneumonia may appear like any other infection, but it poses a much greater risk to older folks. Because the body's defenses against infections deteriorate with age, a cold or mild chest congestion can quickly escalate into a life-threatening illness. Pneumonia is the cause of many hospitalizations after the age of 75, and in too many cases, the infection causes a rapid decline in health from which some people never fully recover. Over time, poor air quality, dust, pollution, and secondhand smoke can all have a negative impact on the lungs. Even indoor pollutants, mold, and pet dander can exacerbate breathing issues without you even realizing it. And if you already have asthma or COPD, these irritants exacerbate symptoms. Small changes like using air purifiers, reducing smoke exposure, or enhancing indoor air quality can have a big impact on lung health. Being active is one of the easiest yet most efficient strategies to maintain healthy lungs. Many individuals are unaware that exercise is necessary for the lungs to function correctly, just like it is for any other area of the body. Your lungs fully expand as you exercise, maintaining their health and removing accumulated mucus. However, prolonged sitting weakens lung function and increases susceptibility to infections because your lungs aren't working as hard. Another important factor is getting the right vaccinations. Many seniors undervalue the importance of vaccinations against respiratory illnesses like the flu and pneumonia, but taking these easy precautions can significantly lower the risk of serious infections. Even simple activities like stretching or walking can help keep your lungs stronger for longer. A minor step, such as being up to date on vaccinations, can make the difference between a minor illness and a catastrophic health crisis. It's not only about avoiding a terrible cold, it's also about preventing consequences that could land you in the hospital or worse. You should breathe. For many people over 75, it doesn't feel like a bad thing because one of the most effective ways to increase your independence and health is to work to keep you alive, take care of them, strengthen them, and keep them safe from illness. The fourth is a stroke, which can alter a person's life permanently and occur abruptly and without warning. Even though it's one of the main causes of death for persons over 75, many people are unaware of how many risk factors and early warning indicators they can reduce. The issue is that you don't always get another chance after a stroke. The harm is frequently irreversible once it occurs. The majority of individuals are unaware that up to 80% of strokes can be avoided. This implies that the decisions you make today may influence whether you continue to be independent or experience a life-altering incident. A stroke happens when a blood artery bursts or when blood flow to the brain is abruptly cut off. Within minutes, brain cells start to die as a result. The damage increases with the length of time the brain is oxygen depleted. While some strokes are minor, resulting in just momentary disorientation or mild weakness, others leave victims paralyzed, speechless, or totally reliant on others. In far too many instances, a stroke results in death. High blood pressure is one of the main risk factors since it weakens the arteries over time, increasing the likelihood that they could burst or get blocked. Furthermore, high blood pressure frequently exhibits no symptoms, much like heart disease. This explains why so many people go about their lives totally unconscious that they are in danger until a stroke happens unexpectedly. Unusual heart rhythms, such as atrial fibrillation, AFib, are another significant cause. Many elderly people are unaware that they have this condition, and when the heart beats erratically, blood can pool and clot. One of those clots can quickly result in a stroke if it makes its way to the brain. The good news is that these problems may be identified early with a basic medical examination, and treatment can significantly reduce wrist pain. Then there is lifestyle and diet. While a lack of movement causes blood to thicken and circulation to decrease, eating too many processed foods, too much salt, and unhealthy fats increases the risk of strokes. Maintaining a healthy blood pressure, eating nutrient-rich meals, and being active are the greatest ways to lower your risk. Even minor adjustments, such as increasing your intake of leafy greens, reducing your sodium intake, and drinking more water, can have a significant impact. Mini strokes, also known as transient ischemic attacks, or TIAs, are one condition that is frequently disregarded. These strokes are brief, lasting only a few minutes, and the symptoms may go away in an hour. Many people disregard them, thinking they were experiencing temporary vertigo or other symptoms. The truth is that a transient ischemic attack, TIA, is your body's signal that a big stroke is imminent. Even if it goes away, don't disregard abrupt slurred speech, numbness in one side of the body, blurred vision, or disorientation that you or someone you know feels. Getting medical help right away could make the difference between a stroke and its potentially fatal outcomes. The most crucial thing to keep in mind is that you have the ability to lower your risk of stroke. You may prevent the life-altering consequences of a stroke by keeping independent, checking your blood pressure frequently, eating a heart-healthy diet, staying active, and identifying the early warning signals. Your chances of defending yourself increase with the time you act. Please let me know in the fourth comment below if you're still viewing this video and finding these ideas helpful. To ensure you don't miss any videos, I advise you to subscribe and turn on the bell if you haven't already. We can keep producing high-quality content to educate and uplift you thanks to your support. All right, let's proceed. Cognitive decline and associated consequences come in at number 5. The gradual loss of independence, memory, and reasoning is one of the most devastating aspects of aging. Cognitive deterioration takes time to manifest. It gradually infiltrates, causing minor alterations that are initially simple to ignore. But with time, those minor slip-ups become more significant. The capacity to handle everyday responsibilities, identify well-known faces, or make wise choices starts to wane. And it's more than simply an annoyance for many. It becomes potentially fatal. Alzheimer's disease and dementia affect more than only the mind. They endanger the entire body. The capacity to look after one's own health deteriorates along with cognitive function. It gets harder and harder to remember to take prescription drugs, eat a balanced diet, or identify the signs of a disease. Dehydration can be problematic since many elderly people with dementia neglect to drink enough water. Others might overeat or undereat, which could lead to weight gain or nutritional deficiencies and raise their chance of developing other severe illnesses. However, among the greatest risks are mishaps, failing to switch off the stove, leaving the door open at night, or going out in danger. Circumstances. All of these hazards become lethal as cognitive impairment worsens. And losing their freedom is a terrible reality for a lot of seniors. Without adequate care, their health deteriorates even more quickly, and they could no longer be able to live alone comfortably. The most concerning aspect of cognitive decline is that many people are unaware of it until it has progressed. Early symptoms include losing key belongings, having trouble following conversations, or forgetting names are typically dismissed as normal aging. However, they are actually your brain's method of alerting you to changes in your life. One of the best ways to protect your brain is to keep it mentally active. The brain needs exercise to stay strong, just like the muscles in your body. Reading, learning new skills, solving puzzles, or even having in-depth conversations can keep your brain engaged and lower your risk of cognitive decline. The sooner you take action, the better your chances are of slowing the progression and keeping a sharp, healthy mind for years to come. And here's something that many people don't realize. Mental activity and physical exercise are equally vital for brain health. Another important aspect that helps protect memory and cognitive function is movement, which improves blood flow to the brain. Having regular talks, meeting up with friends, and participating in a community can literally help keep your brain sharper for longer. Social engagement, isolation, and loneliness drastically accelerate mental deterioration. Your mind gets more resilient the more you push it with novel events and significant relationships. Naturally, diet also has a big impact. Brain health is directly impacted by what you consume. Vitamins, antioxidants, and omega-3 fatty acids, which are present in foods like leafy greens, berries, and nuts, help prevent cognitive deterioration. However, excessive consumption of sugar, processed foods, and unhealthy fats raises the risk of dementia by causing inflammation in the brain. A healthy body is the foundation of a healthy brain, and the decisions you make now can influence how well you think and perform in the years to come. Aging does not always result in cognitive decline. You may drastically lower your risk by taking the appropriate actions now, maintaining an active lifestyle, staying socially active, and making wise food choices. Your brain functions similarly to every other bodily element. It remains stronger the more you tend to it. As we conclude this video, consider all of the topics we have discussed, including heart disease, falls, respiratory problems, stroke, and cognitive decline. Almost all fatalities after the age of 75 are caused by these 5 factors, but it's crucial to keep in mind that they are not always the result. The majority of individuals are unaware of their true level of influence over their health, and by the time they do, it's frequently too late. In actuality, making simple, regular decisions from now on can provide your life years of strength, clarity, and freedom. Ignoring these hazards doesn't make them go away, but nobody wants to consider getting older. The good news is that awareness empowers you. You don't have to live in constant fear of what lies ahead if you recognize the warning signals, take preventative action, and prioritize your health. You can concentrate on longevity, vigor, and living life to the fullest rather than constraints. Now consider your own daily routine. Do you have any areas where you could improve a little bit? Whatever it is, eating better, exercising more, getting regular checkups, or maintaining a busy social and mental life, keep in mind that you don't have to make all the changes at once. You can start along the path to improved health and a longer, more fulfilling life with just one tiny step in the right way. Your health is your most valuable resource at this point in your life. You may spend more time with your loved ones, keep your independence, and live without worrying about avoidable health problems if you take better care of it. You can take care of yourself every day, and the decisions you make now will affect how resilient and powerful you are in the years to come. We appreciate your presence today and look forward to speaking with you. Tell us about one thing you learned today and how you intend to apply it in your life in the comments section below. We value your opinions, so please feel free to express them. We are greatly inspired and encouraged by reading your comments. Please like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it entertaining and useful. We can keep producing high-quality content to educate and uplift you thanks to your support. We appreciate you viewing, and we hope to see you in the upcoming video. Thanks for watching.